Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, today we'll be having our 29th lecture. But before we start, let me tell you that this is the continuation of our last lecture. We were basically discussing the manual of the Corporate Governance Security and Exchange Commission of Pakistan. Up till here we discuss some topics that has been covered in the manual. The sixth portion in the context was basically about the role and responsibilities of directors and managers. Directors and managers distinguished. A company is one type of corporate body which has a separate legal personality distinct from its member. Being an artificial legal personality, it needs to be managed by people who fall in two broad categories: directors and managers. So इस manual में they are distinguishing basically the role of directors from the managers. Both directors and managers within a company have their respective rights and obligations, but before making an attempt to outline their individual job responsibilities, it is necessary to define them. In simple words, a director is a chief administrator, a person appointed or elected to sit on a board that manages the affair of a corporation, a company by appointing and exercising control over its officers. A manager, on the other hand, is a person appointed to administer, supervise or manage the affair of business of a company. So appointment and proceeding of directors. Person who primarily guide the policy and carrying on or pretend the business of the company are called directors. Under section 213 of the company's ordinance, a director includes any person occupying the position of the director by whatever name called. Directors are variously described as trustees, agents and managing partners. इसको trustees भी normally कहते हैं, agents भी कहते हैं and managing partners. Yet they are not in a strict legal sense any of these. The legal position of director is a complex amalgamation of legal duties and powers. So basically this is all about the director's role, so you can at your own can study in detail, but we are basically highlighting some basic points of the manual. Fiduciary duties. In an attempt to embark upon the discussion on fiduciary duties in relation to company law, it is necessary to bear in mind that company is one type of corporate body or corporation which has the essential characteristic in contrast to partnership and other unincorporated associations. The code states that the directors is listed of listed companies shall exercise their powers in carrying out their fiduciary duties with a sense of objective judgment and independence in the best interest of the listed company. Means कि directors को they should not accept any sort of influence if he or she is the independent or dependent director, because they are basically working for the board for the company. So if they accept any sort of unfair influence from anyone, so that will not be good for the company. The concept of fiduciary duties under corporate law. Directors stand in a fiduciary relationship toward the company. Their duties under the corporate law can be summarized as follows: loyalty and good faith, care and diligence, duty to act bona fide in the interest of the company, duty to use power for proper purpose, duty to retain discretion, duty to avoid actual and potential conflicts of interest, duty to act honestly and honestly in the exercise of powers, duty not to misuse information or position, a requirement to disclose certain interest pertaining to related party transactions. So basically, these were basically the fiduciary duties of the directors. That he must be loyal and faith, and he must be diligent and care, and must be loyal to the company. So the concept of fiduciary duties under Islamic law. Any debate on the exercise of fiduciary obligation shall remain incomplete without a discussion on Islam's stands on equity. Historically, Islam has supported a rich culture of ethics. Under Islamic field of business, each individual professional is under a self-monitoring duty, that is an obligation to supervise, adhere to his terms of reference and accountability to God and himself. Islam basically teaches us that every person is itself can act as a monitor to his duties and obligations. Means कि आप अपना खुद एहतिसाब कर सकते हैं being a Muslim, and being a Muslim we know that we will be answerable to God. अगर आप अपना एहतिसाब नहीं करेंगे तो you will have to answer before the God. So Islamic legal system provides for the regulations of such ethics by bodies like Sharia supervisory board, which derives its guidance from the fundamental rule encoded in the Quran, Hadith and Sunnah. So Islam imposes a duty of good faith in contracts and dealings. This is not merely the absence of bad faith, but requires the contracting party to take positive steps to do the right thing, make full and honest disclosures, and perform his obligations correctly. So being a Muslim, it's our religious obligation कि हमें अपने काम को सही करना चाहिए. What if we are working as a director in the company, or if we are working on the management side of the company? In the view of Islamic fiduciary obligations, a director, official, agent or representative of an entity shall not make false or misleading statements with fraudulent intent. They must not omit with fraudulent intent the recording of a transaction in the accounts of the enterprise, nor should they obstruct the performance of the auditor. Auditor's duty under the supervision of law. On the other hand, the directors, the officers and agents of a company must take all possible steps to ensure that business is conducted in a responsible, honest and transparent manner. They remain under a positive duty to promote and encourage proper standards of conduct and fraudulent practices, suppression of legal, dishonorable or improper practices is also a mandatory requirement. So basically इस मैनुअल में इस चीज़ पे ये फोकस किया कि बीइंग अ मुस्लिम, अगर आप किसी कंपनी में किसी भी पोस्ट पे काम कर रहे हैं, सो यू शुड वर्क for the best interest of your company, for the best interest of your owners, the investors or the shareholders. So that is a very good sign, because if you are working in a Muslim society, it's obviously most probably, and if you can find some honest and religious people in your company, so that is a good sign for your company, because Islam teaches us to work in the best interest of the company as well as the board and the shareholders. So powers and responsibilities of directors. Directors of the company shall exercise all powers except those that are to be exercised by shareholders in general meetings. In particular, directors shall exercise the following powers through regulations in their meetings: to make calls on shareholders in respect of money unpaid in their shares, to issue shares, debentures, participation term certificates, or any instrument in the nature of redeemable securities, to borrow money otherwise than by debentures, to invest the fund of the company, to make loans, to authorize a director to enter into a contract with the company for making sales, purchase, supply of goods, and rendering service, to approve accounts and bonus to employees, to incur capital expenditures on any single item, or dispose of a fixed assets exceeding the prescribed value, to undertake the obligations under leasing contract exceeding rupees 1 million, to declare interim dividend, and having regard to such amount as may be determined to be material, to write of bad debts, advances, and receivables, write of inventories and other assets of the company, and determine the terms of and the circumstances in which a law suit may be compromised. So basically these are some of the you can say the powers and responsibilities of the directors. Now we will focus on some other issues that has been mentioned in this manual, especially that is related to the liabilities of the directors. So directors have threefold liabilities: civil liability for breach of trust, fiduciary relationship, that is for misapplication of company's funds, and for offense, breach of duties, for negligence, and in contract. Criminal liability under the company's ordinance for certain defaults, for example, falsification of books, intentionally giving false evidence, for offences committed in connection with the company while winding up, false statement in any report, statement, balance sheet, and other documents, and for wrongfully obtaining the possession of any property or withholding it, or for willfully applying it to unauthorized purposes. So criminal liability under Pakistan Penal Code, if he has been guilty of any offence in relation to the company for which he is criminally liable, in winding up prosecution of delinquent directors. Now some discussion about the executives as well as non-executive directors, or you can say dependent or independent directors. So both the Canberra and the Hamper report stresses that the board should include independent, non-executive directors of sufficient caliber and a number of their views to carry out significant weight in the board deliberations. Independent directors are defined in the Canberra reports as persons who, apart from directors' fees and shareholding, are independent of the management and free from any business and other relationships which could materially interfere with the exercise of independent judgment. So dear students, as you know, in previous lectures we have thoroughly discussed about the importance of dependent as well as independent directors in the company. As you know, we have discussed, if you look at the west side, so west में आपको नजर आएगा that the maximum number of independent directors in the firms, in the corporations. If you look at the east, so east side पे आपको maximum companies में you will find the maximum number of dependent directors. But again, इस manual में ये focus किया है कि obviously that is good for the companies to have more independent directors in the firm, because independent directors ज़्यादा होंगे तो obviously you may have some unbiased policies, you may have some unbiased decision for your company. Dependent directors may, if that is from the management or from the shareholder side, so the the conflict may be there between the directors. So that is good for the companies to have more independent directors rather than the dependent directors. But we've also discussed that it varies from companies from company to company. Suppose if it's a new company, so for a new company it is good to have more dependent director, because at the initial stage you need some honest directors, you need some loyal directors. जब आपकी कंपनी इनिशियल स्टेज पे होती है तो आपको ऑनेस्ट और लॉयल डायरेक्टर्स की ज़रूरत होती है, लेकिन व्हेन सपोज इफ योर कंपनी गेट मैच्योर, सो यू कैन हायर द मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर्स फॉर मेकिंग अनबाइज्ड डिसीजंस. Now the CEO, the seventh part, the CEO in relation to the company means any individual who is entrusted, subject to the control and direction of directors, with the whole or substantially the whole of the power of management of the affair of the company. It can be a director or any other person occupying the position of the CEO by whatever name called, and whether under a contract of service or otherwise. CEO, as you know, means Chief Executive Officer of the company. So any person who can lead the management side is called normally the CEO of the company. So the CEO management को lead करता है, management को represent करता है in the board. So every company except that managed by the managing agent shall have a CEO. The board shall determine and approve the appointment, remuneration, and terms and condition of service of the CEO of a listed company. So the first CEO must be appointed within 15 days of incorporation or on commencement of business of the company, whichever is earlier. He ceases to hold office on the first annual general meeting of the company. Subsequently, the CEO is to be appointed within 14 days of election of directors, or the office of the CEO falling vacant, and shall hold office for the period of not more than 3 years. Upon expiry of the term of his office, the retiring CEO is eligible for reappointment. In any case, he shall perform duties until appointment of the successor. Means कि किसी कंपनी का CEO 3 साल तक काम कर सकता है, लेकिन 3 साल के बाद सपोज इफ द बोर्ड डिसाइड्स कि उसको रिटायर हो जाना चाहिए, तो ही विल बी गेट रिटायर्ड. लेकिन सपोज अगर बोर्ड ये चाहती है या कंपनी चाहती है कि ही शुड फर्दर और ही शुड प्रोसीड हिज जॉब, सो उसको रीअपॉइंटमेंट भी हो सकती है. सो द कंपनी secretary is a Latin word meaning confidential writer or notary. In commercial terms, the secretary is an employee entrusted with confidential correspondence and record. Within the meaning of the company's ordinance, the company secretary is any individual appointment to perform the secretarial, administrative, or other duties already performed by the secretary of the company. Every listed company must have a whole-time secretary. So it depends from country to country whether to have a secretary or if they don't want to have a secretary. Normally, हर एक company में they are having a specific post for the secretary. So company secretary can be appointed and removed from the office by the CEO with the approval of the board. So normally company का जो secretary has been appointed by the CEO उसको अपॉइंट कर सकता है और बोर्ड के अप्रूवल के साथ वो उसको फायर भी कर सकता है. The minimum qualification of the secretary of the listed company is laid down in the code or as follows. Now you will see कि secretary की qualification के लिए क्या क्या चीज़ें ज़रूरी हैं. A member of a recognized body of professional accountant, secretary must be a professional accountant or a member of a recognized body of corporate chartered secretary, or a lawyer, or a graduate from a recognized university having 5 years of relevant experience in a listed company. So secretary in professional terms means that you must have a professional individual in your company, ताकि वो कंपनी के अप्स एंड डाउन्स, कंपनी के जितने भी फाइनेंशियल टर्म्स हैं उसको वो समझ सकें. Like if you can see in the income tax department in Pakistan कि income tax department में जो commissioner का PA होता है normally, that is called personal assistant, तो he is also a CSP officer, वो भी assistant commissioner income tax ही होता है. So secretary या पर्सनल असिस्टेंट डजेंट मीन कि बहुत ही लो कैलिबर का या लो प्रोफेशनल बंदा होगा. सो ही इज ऑल्सो अ प्रोफेशनल पर्सन बिकॉज ही हैज टू लुक आफ्टर द डीलिंग्स ऑफ द CEO और हिज हेड. So chief finance officer, the chief finance officer or chief accountants includes any person by whatever name called who is charged with the responsibility of maintenance of books of accounts of a company. His appointment, remuneration term and conditions of employment as well as the removal shall be determined by the CEO with the approval of the board of directors in case of a listed company. Chief finance officer basically is one of the key positions in the company. जिस तरह CEO की बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट की पोजीशन होती है, उसी तरह जो CF होते हैं, चीफ फाइनेंस ऑफिसर, उसकी भी बहुत की पोजीशन होती है. लेकिन ऑब्वियसली चीफ फाइनेंस ऑफिसर इज आंसरेबल टू द चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर. मीन्स कि चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर टॉप पे होते हैं और उसके नीचे ऑलमोस्ट चीफ फाइनेंस ऑफिसर काम करते हैं. सो CEO can appoint as well as can fire the chief finance officer, but with the approval of the board of directors. अगर बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर से अप्रूवल आए सो CEO उसको फायर कर सकता है, या नॉर्मली CEO अपने बोर्ड को इंस्ट्रक्ट कर सकता है या प्रपोजल दे सकता है कि ये CFO ठीक नहीं है, वी कैन गो फॉर सम अदर गुड CFO. सो अगर बोर्ड ने इजाज़त दे दी सो CFO को फायर किया जा सकता है. और सो उसकी अपॉइंटमेंट रेमुलेशंस, जिसकी तनख्वाह वगैरह जो कुछ भी है वो डिटरमिन करता है CEO of the company, but with the approval of the board of directors. No person shall be appointed as the CFO of a listed company unless he is member of a recognized body of professional accountants, or he is graduate having at least 5 years experience in handling financial or corporate affairs of listed public company or a bank or a financial institution. These are some of the qualifications to become the CFO of the company. In short, we can say कि उसके पास proper accounting skill, accounting related experience होना चाहिए to become the CFO of the company. So every company must ensure the proper books of accounts have been kept that give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the company. The books of accounts must be preserved for the period of at least 10 years. In terms of the code, the CFO and CEO are responsible for presenting the financial statement of the listed company duly endorsed under their respective signature for consideration and approval of the board of directors. So किसी भी किस्म का फाइनेंशियल फ्रॉड या फाइनेंशियल मिसमैनेजमेंट होती है, सो ऑब्वियसली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आती है CEO पे और CFO पे. लेकिन बोर्ड नॉर्मली दे कैन आस्क द CEO अबाउट द एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ फ्रॉड और मिसमैनेजमेंट. because he is the head of the management. हाँ, अगर CFO ने या CEO ने प्रूफ दे दिए बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स को कि दिस फ्रॉड इज प्योरली बिकॉज ऑफ द CFO डिसऑनेस्टी, तो ऑब्वियसली फिर CEO के प्रपोजल पे आप CFO को फायर भी कर सकते हैं. लेकिन मेजर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दोनों पे आती है, लेकिन कंपैरेटिवली CEO और CFO के मुकाबले में फिर नॉर्मली जो रिस्पॉन्सिबल बंदे दैट इज द CEO ऑफ द कंपनी बिकॉज ही इज लीडिंग द मैनेजमेंट ऑफ द कंपनी. Internal control system. The internal control system is a system of control, financial and otherwise, established by management in order to carry on the business of the company in an orderly or efficient manner. Director must ensure that an effective system of internal control has been maintained, although the responsibility of detailed, signed, implemented and operation is usually delegated to management. Internal control system should be maintained by the management in the company. इसको supervise डायरेक्टर करते हैं, लेकिन मेन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वो मैनेजमेंट पे आती है इफ देयर इज एनी प्रॉब्लम इन द इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम ऑफ द कंपनी. Internal controls are divided into three main categories. Operational control. These are procedures that are implemented to address the company's basic objectives, including the overall performance and profitability. These procedures embrace the administration, efficiency, and effective functioning of the business in its broadest sense. Another category about the internal control is financial control. These are control established to provide reasonable assurance that assets will be guarded against unauthorized use and disposal. Proper accounting records are maintained and information used within the business and made public is reliable. Financial records में जो internal control इस तरह हो सकते हैं कि normally the company should take care of their assets, कि उसका misuse ना हो. The management should not use the assets of the company for their personal interest. Number one. Number two, कि accounting records properly maintain हो. Another aspect of financial control is कि जो information जो पब्लिक फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट है उसमें आप जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन दें वो रिलायबल हो फ्रॉम द मैनेजमेंट साइड्स, ताकि उसी की बेसिस पे यू कैन अट्रैक्ट अदर इन्वेस्टर्स फॉर द कंपनी. Compliance control. These are procedures that attempt to ensure that the company complies with the laws and regulations to which it is subject. Compliance control means कि जो कंपनी के रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस हैं, जो उसका कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट है कंपनी का, जो कोड ऑफ एथिक्स है कंपनी का, या जो गवर्नेंस प्रिंसिपल्स रूल्स है कंपनी के, उस पे कंपनी को प्रॉपरली एडहर करना चाहिए या काम करना चाहिए. बिकॉज इंटरनल कंट्रोल इज एन ongoing and daily process affecting by people, it is just to inherent limitations of human error, abuse or circumvention. Cost benefit constraint also limit the effectiveness of system of internal control. So internal control is basically good for the company's efficiency and effectiveness. Lekin the human error is also there. गलती भी हो सकती है, it could be intentionally or unintentionally. If the error is suppose unintentional, then we can neglect it. But if the error is unintentional, intentional. But if the error is intentional, so that can be dealt properly. Reporting requirement. Under the company's ordinance, the director's report to shareholders must be attached to the financial statement containing. Reporting requirement ये है कि कंपनी जो भी रिपोर्ट करती है शेयर होल्डर्स को, डायरेक्टर्स, उसमें क्या क्या चीज़ें होनी चाहिए? इंफॉर्मेशन रिगार्डिंग द स्टेट ऑफ कंपनीज अफेयर्स, कि शेयर होल्डर को जो आप इंफॉर्मेशन देते हैं डायरेक्टर्स की साइड पे, तो उसमें कंपनी के भी जितने भी अफेयर्स हैं उसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन होनी चाहिए। द अमाउंट ऑफ डिविडेंड टू बी पेड, जितना डिविडेंड कंपनी ने डिक्लेयर किया है और जितना डिविडेंड शेयर होल्डर्स में डिवाइड होगा उसकी डिटेल होनी चाहिए। द अमाउंट टू कैरी टू रिजर्व अकाउंट, जितना पैसा रिजर्व अकाउंट में जाएगा उसकी डिटेल होनी चाहिए। इन केस ऑफ पब्लिक कंपनी, इन एडिशन टू द मैटर stated above, the director's report shall disclose, suppose if it's a public limited company, so director को क्या क्या चीज़ें डिस्क्लोज करनी चाहिए या क्या क्या चीज़ें that should basically डायरेक्टर्स की रिपोर्ट में क्या क्या चीज़ें शामिल होनी चाहिए। द फर्स्ट वन इज डिस्क्लोज मटीरियल changes and commitment affecting the financial position of the company between the balance sheet date and the date of the directors report. Deal any sort of changes, it could be financial changes, तो अगर आप डायरेक्टर्स को वो सारी इंफॉर्मेशन अपनी रिपोर्ट में इंक्लूड करनी चाहिए। Deal with any changes in the nature of the business of the company or its subsidiary, except when the Security Exchange Commission allows exemption from this requirement for being prejudicial to the business of the company. Provide information and explanation in regard to any reservations, observations, qualifications or adverse remark in the auditor's report. डायरेक्टर्स को सारी इंफॉर्मेशन जो ऑडिटर्स रिपोर्ट में होती है वो भी अपनी रिपोर्ट में शामिल करनी चाहिए। वो रिमार्क्स अच्छी हो या वो नेगेटिव रिमार्क्स हो, वो सारी इंफॉर्मेशन अपनी रिपोर्ट में जाहिर करना चाहिए। सर्कुलेट द इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट द पैटर्न ऑफ होल्डिंग ऑफ शेयर्स इन द फॉर्म ऑफ प्रिस्क्राइब्ड, स्टेट द नेम एंड कंट्री ऑफ होल्डिंग कंपनी इफ एस्टेब्लिश्ड आउटसाइड पाकिस्तान, state the earning per shares and give reasons for incurring loss and a reasonable indication of future prospect of profit, and contain information about default in payment of debts and reasons thereof. Means कि कंपनी से रिलेटेड जो भी ऑब्जर्वेशंस हो या जिस किस्म की भी रिजर्वेशंस हो, डायरेक्टर्स को वो सारी इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर होल्डर को बताना चाहिए अपनी रिपोर्ट में। द रिपोर्ट शेल बी साइंड बाय द चेयरमैन और द CEO ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ द डायरेक्टर्स if authorized in that behalf. When not so authorized, it shall be signed by the CEO and the directors, who are required to sign balance sheet and profit and loss account under section 241 of the company's ordinance. The code requires, in addition to the above, the following matters to be reported to the directors: report of a listed company, a financial statement as prepared by the management, present fairly the state of affair of the company, the result of its operation, cash flow, changes in equity, etc. etc. So जितने भी फाइनेंशियल रिलेटेड इश्यूज होती हैं, मैनेजमेंट को वो सारी अपने जो डायरेक्टर्स होते हैं उनको इन्फॉर्म करना चाहिए. And obviously directors, there are committees like audit committee, like finance committee, there are sub committees. So वो सारी information gather करके फिर वो directors on behalf of his committee अपनी जो annual general meeting होती है या शेयर होल्डर्स को सारी रिपोर्ट जाती है. Proper books of accounts have been maintained. Another aspect of reporting is that you must maintain the proper books of accounts. Appropriate accounting policies have been consistently applied, and accounting estimates are based on reasonable and prudent judgment. The International Accounting Standard IAS have been applied, and any departure therefrom has been disclosed. So accounting एक general standards को accept करना चाहिए, या अगर आप कोई और स्टैंडर्ड अप्लाई करने तो वो भी जो डायरेक्टर्स की रिपोर्ट है उसमें नुमाया होना चाहिए. द इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम इज साउंड and is monitored and implemented effectively. There is no significant doubt upon the ability of the company to continue as going concern. If the company is not considered to be a going concern, the fact along with reasons must be disclosed. कंपनी की जितनी भी कंसर्न्स हैं उसको पॉइंट आउट करना चाहिए इन द director's report. No material departure from the best practices in the code has been made. Significant deviations from last year's in operating results along with reasons keep operating and financial data of last 6 years means कि हर जब भी आप इन्फॉर्म करें अपने शेयर होल्डर्स को तो डायरेक्टर्स के रिपोर्ट में पिछले साल का रिकॉर्ड भी होना चाहिए. Reasons for not declaring dividend or issuing bonuses shares in any year, the amount and reasons of any statutory payment on account of taxes, duties, levies and charges that has been outstanding. Significant plan and decisions like corporate restructuring, business expansion and a discontinuance of operations along with future prospects, risks and uncertainties. So if there is any restructuring in the company regarding the expansion or discontinuation of the business or operations, उस सब की detail should be there in the director's report. Plus you should also mention the risk factor. You should also mention the future prospect of the business. If you want to start any business in some other country, in some other location, so उस सब की डिटेल डायरेक्टर्स की रिपोर्ट में होनी चाहिए ताकि शेयर होल्डर्स को देख के पढ़ सकें कि हमारा पैसा कहाँ पे लग रहा है and where their money has been invested. Yeah, if there is any uncertain situation about any location, about any operation or business, so उसकी डिटेल भी होनी चाहिए that we suppose we are having our business in such areas which is very risky, etc., etc. So we should like stop our business over there ताकि हम वो पैसा किसी दूसरी जगह पर सेफ जगह पर लगा सकें. Statement as to the value of investment of provident, gratuity and pension funds based on their respective audited accounts. A number of board meetings during the year and attendance by each director, the patron of shareholding to disclose the aggregate number of shares held by associated companies undertaking and related pricing name-wise detail, NITICP name-wise detail. So company के बारे में almost चाहे वो कंपनी की ऑपरेशन साइड पे हो चाहे वो कंपनी की फाइनेंशियल साइड पे हो सबकी डिटेल ऑलमोस्ट वो डायरेक्टर्स की रिपोर्ट में होना चाहिए. Directors, CEO and their spouse and minor children, etc. Executives, that is employees other than CEO or directors with annual basic salary exceeding 5 lakh रुपए. Public sector companies and corporations, bank, development finance institutions and non-banking finance institutions, insurance companies, moderable and mutual funds, shareholders holding 10% or more voting interest in the listed company name-wise detail, and trade carried out in the share of the company by directors, CEO, CFO, secretary and their spouses and minor children. So in sab ki detail should be there in the director's report. Now, scrutinizing financial statement, whatever directors should know कि फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट या फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन के बारे में कंपनी के डायरेक्टर्स को क्या क्या इंफॉर्मेशन लाजमी या ज़रूरी है. Generally, directors have a statutory responsibility to review and approve the financial statement before circulation to member. Pursuant to section 196(2)(h) of the company's ordinance, directors can exercise his power on behalf of the company only by means of the resolution passed by their meeting. So the court required the CEO and the CFO of listed companies to present the financial statement duly endorsed under their prospective signature for consideration and approval of the board of directors. The board, after proper consideration and approval, should authorize the signing of such financial statement for issuance and circulation. As per section 241 of the company's ordinance, the financial statement of the company should be approved by the directors and signed by its CEO and at least one director. Where the CEO is not present in the Pakistan, the financial statement should be signed by at least two directors of the company for the time being in Pakistan. The duly signed statement should also be subjoined to the financial statement to explain the reasons for departure. So this is how basically the basic relationship or coordination between the directors and the CEO and CFO. Liabilities of directors. The company's ordinance holds directors responsible for compliance with the statutory requirement regarding preparation and maintenance of proper books of accounts and circulation of financial statement that give a true and fair view. So directors की लाइबिलिटी ये है कि डायरेक्टर शुड मेक श्योर कि जितने भी अकाउंटिंग प्रोसीजर्स हो रही हैं, जितने भी अकाउंटिंग या फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन कंपनी के, उसको चेक करें और उसको प्रॉपरली हैंडल करें. If a listed company fails to comply with the statutory requirement in its regard, every director, including the CEO and CEO of the company who has knowingly been the cause of the default, is liable to be punishable with. So जो भी कंसर्न बंदा होगा, द CEO और द CFO, वो अगर किसी किस्म का कोई फ्रॉड होता है या मिसमैनेजमेंट होती है इन द अकाउंटिंग फिगर्स, सो उनको पनिश भी किया जा सकता है. पनिशमेंट कैसी होगी? इम्प्रिजनमेंट फॉर टर्म विच मे एक्सटेंड टू 1 year and fine which shall not be less than ₹20,000 nor more than 50,000, and further fine which may extend to 5,000 for every day after the first during which the default continues. So ये कुछ फाइन्स हैं इम्प्रिजनमेंट से. इफ देयर इज एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ कंपनी की जो फाइनेंशियल या अकाउंटिंग फिगर है उसमें कोई गलती आती है तो उसके सिलसिले में कंपनी के जो डायरेक्टर्स हैं या वो CEO है या CFO उस पर फाइन भी लग सकता है. अब यू कैन सी फ्रॉम दिस टेबल कि फाइन इतना ज़्यादा नहीं है, 20,000 नॉट मोर देन 50,000 एंड 5,000 if extended 5,000. So basically, but the reputation of the directors or the reputation of the CEO, reputation of the CFO can be challenged. या इसको ये ख़राब भी हो सकता है कि एक CEO पे आप फाइन लगाते हैं या CFO पे आप फाइन लगाते हैं. पैसा इतनी बड़ी अमाउंट ये नहीं है, लेकिन रेपुटेशन उनकी ख़राब हो सकती है. Preparation of financial statement. Financial statements are a structured financial representation of the financial position of and the transactions undertaken by the company. The objective of financial statement is to provide information about the financial position, performance and cash flow of the company that is useful to a wide range of users in making economic decisions. Financial statement also show the result of management stewardship of the resources entrusted to it. Financial statement की preparation is one of the basic requirement of the company कि जब तक आपके financial statement आप prepare नहीं करेंगे, so how you will make your further or future decisions about your company. Number one, outside the company, those who are the outsiders, the investors, how they will know the company's position if they are interested to invest in your company. So financial position की preparation internal management के लिए भी ज़रूरी है, आपकी कंपनी के लिए भी ज़रूरी है कि हमारी कंपनी किस तरफ जा रही है, हमारी कंपनी की फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन क्या है, प्लस द फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन फॉर द आउटसाइडर्स इन्वेस्टर्स भी बहुत ज़रूरी है ताकि वो इफ़ दे वांट टू मेक एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ फर्दर इन्वेस्टमेंट so they should know about your company's financial wealth or financial strength. Frequency of financial reporting. All companies must circulate their financial statement on an annual basis among their shareholders and submit the same to the regulatory authorities. In addition, listed companies should also circulate quarterly accounts. हर एक कंपनी अपनी जो फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट बनाएगी उसको ना सिर्फ अपनी मैनेजमेंट के लिए वो बनाती है बल्कि वो फाइनेंशियल आपकी जो स्टेटमेंट है जो फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन है वो बाकी जो रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटीज़ हैं लाइक सिक्योरिटी एक्सचेंज कमीशन एक्सेट्रा उस तक भी आपकी फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन पहुंचनी चाहिए क्वार्टरली और एनुअली. क्वार्टरली रिपोर्टिंग अंडर सेक्शन 245 of the company's ordinance, listed companies are required to prepare and circulate quarterly accounts for the first, second and third quarter within the financial year among the members to the stock exchanges, registrar and the Security and Exchange Commission. Annual reporting. Section 233 of the company's ordinance requires that the annual account of the company should be circulated among its members to the stock exchange, registrar, Security Exchange Commission at least 21 days before the annual general meeting. Means कि कंपनी की जब annual general meeting होती है उससे 21 दिन पहले आपने अपनी फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट अपने मेंबर्स को सेंड करनी है. नंबर 2, आपने स्टॉक एक्सचेंज, सिक्योरिटी एक्सचेंज कमीशन और रजिस्ट्रार आपने अपनी फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट को सेंड करनी है आपकी एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग से पहले 21 दिन पहले. कंपोनेंट्स क्या क्या होने चाहिए? कंपोनेंट्स द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट शुड इंक्लूड लाइक द बैलेंस शीट जिसमें you should display the assets as well as the liabilities of your companies कि आपके पास current assets कितने हैं, आपके पास fixed assets कितने हैं. I'm sure you must be familiar with these terms as well as आपके debtors कितने हैं. नंबर 2, आपकी लाइबिलिटी साइड पे आपकी फिक्स्ड आपकी करंट लाइबिलिटीज या जो आपकी फिक्स्ड लाइबिलिटीज एज वेल एज आपकी जो क्रेडिटर्स वो कितने. सो इन सब की डिटेल मस्ट बी देयर इन द फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्ट. इनकम स्टेटमेंट यू शुड डिस्क्लोज अबाउट द इनकम or the net income that has been generated by your company for the last fiscal year. Statement showing changes in equity, cash flow statement, कितना पैसा आपकी कंपनी में कैश, ओनली कैश आपकी कंपनी में कितना कैश आया और कितना कैश आपकी कंपनी से गया है. अकाउंटिंग पॉलिसीज एंड एक्सप्लेनेटरी नोट्स, एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ changes that you have made in your accounting principles or policies, so that should be reported in your financial statement. So ये सारी उसकी डिटेल हैं. Now tools for directors review. The directors can adopt a certain analyst tool for reviewing the financial statement. In this regard, ratio analyst can be particularly useful. The commonly used ratios are, now directors कौन से tools use करते हैं to get the financial position or the financial strength of the company. Profitability, gross profit margin, net profit margin, earning per share. Simple formula ये है for the directors to get the face of the financial position of the company, कि आप सिर्फ ये देखिए कि कंपनी की ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट कितनी है, उसका नेट प्रॉफिट कितना है. नेट प्रॉफिट व्हेन यू रिड्यूसेस योर एक्सपेंसेस फ्रॉम योर ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट यू गेट योर नेट प्रॉफिट. उससे ये होगा कि यू कैन कम अप विद द कंक्लूजन कि हमारा प्रॉफिट, ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट काफ़ी ज़्यादा है लेकिन नेट प्रॉफिट कम है बिकॉज ऑफ दीज सर्टन आइटम्स ऑफ एक्सपेंसेस. सो नेक्स्ट ईयर आप अपने एक्सपेंसेस कम करके अपना नेट प्रॉफिट इंक्रीज कर सकते हैं. एंड द अर्निंग पर शेयर, ऑब्वियसली कि मार्केट में आपकी जो शेयर प्राइस है, अगर एक साल में उसकी प्राइस इंक्रीज हुई है तो दैट मीन्स यू कैन मेक जजमेंट अबाउट द फर्म्स प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी. लिक्विडिटी, करंट रेशियो, इन्वेंट्री टर्नओवर, डेटर्स टर्नओवर, credit payment period and debt collection periods, solvency, debt equity ratio. So these are some of the tools which you will study inshallah in your managerial accounting or financial accounting, how you can get knowledge from the ratios or from different formulas. Assets performance ratios, turn on total assets, return on total assets, return on capital employed. So these are some of the tools through which the directors can get a review of the financial statement. Now, how to prevent misleading and fraudulent financial statement? A proper and exhaustive review of the financial statement may reveal errors in recording of the transaction of the directors. However, fraudulent transactions which are carefully recorded with intent to conceal are extremely difficult to intend. Very often frauds are discovered after lapse of the considerable period of time. It is, however, imperative that directors and management take appropriate measures for prevention and timely detection of fraud. Proper जो monitoring of the firm or proper monitoring of the audits can reduce the element of frauds. लेकिन अक्सर फ्रॉड उस वक्त सामने आते हैं जब कंपनी के पास कुछ नहीं रहता करने को. सो नॉर्मली कंपनी की मैनेजमेंट या कंपनी के डायरेक्टर्स उसको अगर फ्रीक्वेंटली उसको थॉरली उसको मॉनिटर करें, सो दिस कैन रिड्यूस द एलिमेंट ऑफ फ्रॉड. Factors reflected in the control environment include the function of the board of directors and its committee, management philosophy and operating style, the company's organizational culture and method of assigning authority and responsibility, a management control system including the internal audit function, personnel policies and procedures and segregation of duties. Now, external auditor basically, what is the criteria of the external auditor? In this manual, we can see that there is a specific criteria for the external auditor. No person can be appointed as auditor of the public company or of a private company being a subsidiary of the public company unless he is a chartered accountant. Means कि external audit के लिए आप के लिए जो क्वालिफिकेशन जरूरी है दैट इज CA, नॉर्मली वी कॉल इट चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंसी. इन टर्म्स ऑफ द सेक्शन 254 ऑफ द कंपनीज ऑर्डिनेंस, अ पर्सन इज नॉट क्वालिफाइड फॉर अपॉइंटमेंट एज ऑडिटर ऑफ द कंपनी इफ he is or at any time during the preceding 3 years was a director, other officer or employee of the company. सो एक्सटर्नल ऑडिटर किसी कंपनी में नहीं लग सकता अगर वो उस कंपनी में पिछले 3 साल में उस कंपनी का डायरेक्टर रह चुका हो या उस कंपनी का एम्प्लॉय या ऑफिसर रह चुका हो. वी हैव thoroughly discussed this in our last lectures. Is a partner of or in the employment of a director, officer or employee of the company, is a spouse of the director of the company, is indebted of the company, is a body corporate, or his spouse or minor children, or in case of the firm, all partners of such firms hold shares of an audited client or any of its associated companies. So is disqualified for appointment of as auditor of any other companies which is that company's subsidiary or holding company or subsidiary of that holding company. So these are some of the assumptions कि आप किसी कंपनी का एक्सटर्नल ऑडिटर क्यों नहीं हो सकते. Appointment and removal of first auditor. The first auditor of the company shall be appointed by the directors of the company within the 60 days of the date of incorporation of the company. The first auditor appointed in the above manner shall hold office until the conclusion of the first annual general meeting unless removed by the company. The company in general meeting may remove the first auditor and appoint another auditor who has been nominated for appointment by the member of the company and of whose nomination notice has been given to the members not less than 14 days before the date of the meeting. If the directors fails to appoint the first auditor within the prescribed time, the company in the annual general meeting may appoint the first auditor provided that the auditor appointed is in an annual general meeting shall not be removed during this tenure except through a special resolution. In this case, in the case of failure of the company to appoint the first auditor in general meeting within 120 days of the date of incorporation, the Security Exchange Commission may appoint the auditor to fill the vacancy. अगर कंपनी बनती है और वो अपना ऑडिटर अपॉइंट नहीं करती स्पेसिफिक टाइम की, तो फिर सिक्योरिटी एक्सचेंज कमीशन नॉर्मली 120 डेज, तो सिक्योरिटी एक्सचेंज कमीशन आपके लिए ऑडिटर वो अपॉइंट करता है. Appointment and removal of subsequent auditors. Every company shall at its annual general meeting appoint an auditor or auditors who hold office from the conclusion of that meeting until the conclusion of next annual general meeting. हर साल में जब annual general meeting आती है, so you go for another auditor appointment. The board of directors of a listed companies shall recommend appointment of external auditor by shareholders at annual general meeting. So हर annual general meeting में आप नए external auditor को appoint करते हैं and आप remove भी करते हैं. So rights and power of auditors. The auditors have a right of access at all times to the books, paper, accounts and voucher of the company, are entitled to require from the company and directors and other officers of the company such information and explanation as they think necessary for the performance of their duties. So duties, responsible rights और power auditor की है कि वो आपकी books of accounts तक access कर सकता है. Have a right to of access of such copies and extract from the books and papers of a branch outside Pakistan as has been transmitted to the principal office in Pakistan, and have the right to attend any general meeting of the company and to receive the same notices of general meeting as the members and to be heard at any general meeting on any part of the business which concerns them as auditor. In terms of the court, partner of the firm of the external auditor shall attend the annual general meeting of the listed company at which audited accounts are placed for consideration and approval of shareholders. सो मीन्स एनुअल जनरल मीटिंग में आपका जो एक्सटर्नल ऑडिटर है वो भी बैठता है, बिकॉज उसी की रिजर्वेशंस, उसी की रिपोर्ट्स आपकी मीटिंग में डिस्कस होती हैं. सो ही मस्ट बी देयर आइदर टू से समथिंग और डिफेंड हिज नोट्स. ड्यूटीज ऑफ ऑडिटर्स. The duties of auditors mainly depend on the terms of appointment, the article of association and the statutory provision. In the term of section 255 of the company's ordinance, the auditor must make a report to the members of the financial statement of the company. So these are now some details about the auditors. So this is basically the penalties फॉर नॉट कंप्लायंस बाय ऑडिटर्स. अगर ऑडिटर किसी किस्म का कोई रूल तोड़ता है तो उस पर क्या पेनल्टी लगेगी. सो दीज आर ऑल डिटेल्स अबाउट द पनिशमेंट ऑफ द ऑडिटर्स. नाउ रोल ऑफ ऑडिट कमेटी. Again, a court requires every listed company to establish an audit committee comprising at least 3 members, including the chairman from among its directors. The majority of the members of the committee should be non-executive directors. As you have seen, as we have studied in our previous lectures, audit committee में normally you should have non-executives or the independent directors for proper working. So this is all about the basically audit committee's detail. A role of internal audit. The listed companies are required to set up an internal audit functions under the code. The internal audit functions must be independent from the management and directors of the company. So इंटरनल ऑडिट कंपनी का रोल ये है कि दे शुड बी इंडिपेंडेंट फ्रॉम द मैनेजमेंट एज वेल एज द डायरेक्टर्स ऑफ द कंपनी, ताकि कंपनी की वो, बिकॉज इंटरनल ऑडिटर ऑल्दो दे आर पार्ट ऑफ द मैनेजमेंट बट एक्चुअली दे आर वर्किंग फॉर द कंपनी, दे आर द वर्किंग फॉर द ओनर ऑफ द कंपनी. So they have a sort of dual responsibilities toward the company. They have to support the management as well as they should give proper and actual information to the concerned authorities. Now this is the conclusion of our manual. As a result of incorporation of the provision of the code into listed regulations, the mandatory supervision of the code are now enforceable by the respective stock exchanges in Pakistan. In companies failing to comply with any provision of the listed regulations, including those pertaining to corporate governance, may be sanctioned, suspended or delisted. Moreover, the SEC, being the apex regulator of the corporate and securities laws, also take cognizance of departures from the code. Successful implementation of the code will depend equally upon effective enforcement of the code by the stock exchange and the SEC under the power available to them, as well as persuading companies and stakeholders of the advantage of the compliance with the code. Conclusion ये है कि almost जितने भी laws, codes हैं, stock exchange, security exchange commission, they are entitled to enforce these codes on listed companies. It is hoped that this introduction to prevailing corporate governance framework in Pakistan will provide the basic context in which further discussion and debate may occur. The objectives to be achieved through good corporate governance principles are clear: enhance business performance of the listed companies and to ensure their conformance to the applicable laws, rules and practices. The code was a first step in the realization of these objectives. Much work remains to be done in prioritizing principles and identifying methods for their effective implementations. So this was basically all about the manual of the corporate governance actually issued by the Security and Exchange Commission of Pakistan. In the last, we have some differences between directors and managers. So this is the end of our today's lecture, as well as our today's topic, that is the Manual of Corporate Governance, Security and Exchange Commission of Pakistan. Allah Hafiz.